What's going on? Sunny here. And in today's video, I want to talk about a very important piece of the reprogramming process. Reprogramming your subconscious, really creating the state that you want within, the belief that you want within, and also eventually carrying that out into material physical reality. Okay, I want to talk about one integral piece that you're going to have to abide by and really consciously follow. Okay, we're going to talk about it at a general level today. However, if you want to take it more in depth and get down into the nitty-gritty, how to actually do the daily action steps to make that happen, watch my free training after this video. The link is in the description box below. That's going to take it in more depth. But I want to talk about the more general overview so that you understand what the process really requires you to do. Okay, so one thing you're going to have to realize, and you're going to have to remind yourself of this again and again, because you will continue to fall out of this realization as you go through the journey, is this: the internal creates the external. The internal is the source of the external. While the external may be factual right now and it may seem so real, and what it is suggesting may seem so real, the facts continue to pass. They come and go. Whereas the internal is the truth. The truth that is stable, unchallenged, unchanged. The truth remains, whereas the facts continue to change. And the truth is the source of all the facts that are coming and going. You're going to have to keep this in mind and remind yourself of this again and again and again every single time you fall out of this realization, because when you get challenged and you become reactive, this is exactly what you forget. You forget that you're being controlled right now by the reflection, by your own reflection. As soon as if you were to remember this, it would bring a sense of empowerment. Because you forget it and you fall out of that remembrance, you react unconsciously. And that gets in the way of your reprogramming, because every time you react, you're actually just reprogramming your old ways of being, your old worldview. And we want to do the opposite of this, correct? So throughout this process, you're going to have to remind yourself of this again and again. The facts come and go, right? The facts meaning physical reality, including your body, including the actions that you take every day, everything. All that you see and perceive comes and goes. Whereas the truth remains. It is stable. What is it? It is you. It is your infinite potential. In other words, in the simple words, it is your imagination. And anything that you align with from your imagination, a state of being, and you stay consistent with it, you bring forth into the factual experience. So you have to understand the truth is always becoming fact, but facts are constantly moving, right? The truth it never changes. It is your infinite potential. It is stable. And within it, right, you can align with anything and bring that forth, bring that particular expression forth into physical manifest reality, which is factual, which is your facts, but they're coming and going. You have to remind yourself of that, okay? That's the first piece that I want to cover. So keeping that in mind, as you go through this process, one thing you really have to do consciously is learn how to take feedback and analyze feedback from the external. Because it is this step right here that either determines if you're successful at reprogramming your beliefs and your ways of being and your life, or you continue to let your old programs run and determine your entire existence. Okay, what do I mean by analyzing the feedback that you receive from physical reality? Let's just say you want to become a really good basketball player, okay? And you're fairly average right now. You really want to become the best basketball player. So internally, right, you're aligning with that in your imagination. You're building the belief that I am an amazing basketball player. I'm, you're truly feeling that way. And on the external level, now you're practicing every day. You're taking a lot of action, which is amazing. You're continuing to keep this flowing. You're doing the internal work. You're doing the external work. Now, the feedback from the external would be the results that you're getting or the experiences that you're having. So maybe you have a basketball game in which you're really doing well, right? And you killed it that game. And so that's positive feedback. And you take that and you affirm, man, I am a good basketball player. Like, you gain that confidence, you gain that boost. And that affirms the state, the belief that you're trying to create within, which is a great thing because it becomes stronger. However, let's say the next game right, in a couple of days, you perform really poorly, and it's actually like astronomical, like how badly you performed. And you start to now take that feedback, right, your experience, and you start to analyze it in a way that's actually not beneficial for you. You start to engage with that feedback in a very negative way, meaning you start to now question your ability. You start to question your belief about being good, about being, powerful, about being skilled in basketball. And you start to analyze it, and you start to now produce more thoughts and worries because you're engaging with those negative thoughts, right? You start to produce more fears and anxieties of like, okay, what if this phase just continues to go? What if I continue to have bad days and all that stuff? So you're taking an experience and really projecting a lot of negativity on top of it. You're not taking the feedback in a positive way. What would be a positive way to take that feedback in, right? You have to learn to now look at whatever feedback you're receiving and simply analyze how it could help you improve, maybe change your approach. So let's just say you had a really bad game and now you're just taking whatever happened during that time as experience to learn from. You're simply extracting whatever lesson in a very dispassionate way. Don't get so super emotional and attached to you having a bad game and you're like, oh my God, you start questioning everything. But instead, remain sort of detached, have that awareness in that moment. And now analyze, what can you learn, right? And what can you change about your current approach regarding your internal work and even the external work, maybe in practice or whatever action that you're taking to actually make sure that you're securing a positive outcome. And simply, all of the other thoughts that this negative feedback is suggesting to you, don't engage with. This is the part where most people have so much trouble and they say, Sunny, but how do I just not engage with it? How do I not give those thoughts my attention? You have to realize that that is a power that you have. You can no longer ride behind that excuse that I can't control my thoughts, I can't do this. That's just another thought that you're giving your attention to. You're engaging with that thought too. So understand that this is a power that you have. Stop arguing for your limitations. Recognize that you are doing so and divert your attention. So every single time you have those negative experiences, that negative feedback, and it's suggesting to you all these things, stop it right there. It is not something that you even do. It is not something that you avoid or fight back against. Simply disengage. And disengagement, all it requires of you is to divert your attention to what you actually want to focus on. So every single time you have negative feedback from reality, that is actually contradicting of your belief, right? Which I'm a good basketball player. So in this example, you're having the feedback is suggesting to you that you're not a good basketball player. It contradicts your chosen belief, something that you're trying to program and create. So you have to disengage from it. You cannot engage with it further. You cannot feed it with your life force because it is in contradiction to your desired state, to what you're trying to create. So simply, in that moment, you have to have that awareness, right? This process does not take effort. It takes conscious awareness. So in those moments, you have to have the awareness to be very detached from your experience, very dispassionately being able to divert your attention away from all of those thoughts that really want your attention towards, okay, what can I learn from this? And how can I make this maybe how can I change my approach to make sure that I'm doing better next time? That is the only thing that you need to be doing with external feedback. Simply diverting your attention away from all the negative realities that it tries to suggest to you, that it tries to impose on you, and then divert your attention towards, okay, what can I learn from this? And you can see that in this pattern in anybody that has ever found success in anything, they had to go through this process because everybody receives negative feedback. It's not just you. Every single person that has ever tried to achieve something, create anything, has received negative feedback. Matter of fact, even if you're just stagnant in life, you're doing nothing, that's okay too. You're still going to receive some negative feedback, which you're going to either interpret in a negative way or a positive way. So now you have to create this habit. And you also have to understand that those ideas and realities that the negative feedback suggests to you, they require your attention in order to survive. They only have existence because you give them interest and attention. This is a power you must learn that you have. the ability to not engage with those things. Simply disengage and engage with what you do want to focus on and create. This is the very little subtle power that you have, which is actually astronomical in terms of results that you receive. Okay? So this is something that you must consciously learn how to do now. This is actually one of the most integral parts of the reprogramming process. Creating a state, choosing what you do want, the belief that you want to create, and then as you go through the process to remain consistent with that belief and take action through that belief every single day, you have to now consciously take the feedback that you receive on a day-to-day basis, just take it a day at a time, and analyze that feedback in this way that I just mentioned to you. If you do so, your belief will continue to get stronger, and all the contradicting evidence will continue to fall off more and more and more until there's so much evidence of this belief in your physical reality that you're just fully convinced of it. Then it takes a lot to actually convince you of something else. This is something that I've used in my own journey in terms of, my ability to make videos, to be able to coach other people, to create programs, to, create a business, anything. This is something that has been so important in my journey because I come from a background where I was very self-critical. I was very shy. I had no confidence. I was very, I always tried to be like other people. I had no ability to go. I was always the type of person who was very dependent. So I've used these principles to really create this self, this personality, this person who is the exact opposite. Only through this process, right? Obviously with the other things that I also talk on my channel, but this is one of the most important aspects of it because you will receive that negative feedback, and in those moments you have to know how to handle that, how to analyze that. All right, so that is the general process. Now, if you want to know how to do this on a more detailed level, in a very much more thorough level, watch my free training below. It's called the Create Your Dream Life Workshop, and it is steps 3 and 4, I believe, of that workshop, okay? Obviously, watch the steps 1 and 2 as well, because you have to use all 4 of these steps to create the life you truly want to live through a higher consciousness mindset. So make sure to watch that. Let me know what you think of it, okay? Also, let me know what you think of this video in the comment section below. If you have any questions, please post them down below, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. But other than that, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, and I will see you in the next video.